investments. Find out from the experts how and where to safely grow your money for your future.
Bulletproof your portfolio all next week at 10 Eastern on Business Morning, only on Report on Business Television.
CJOH News with Leigh Chapple.
Good evening. Residents of a West Ottawa community say they just want a safe, secure neighborhood for everyone. They've been holding a series of marches to put the spotlight on drug pushers and prostitutes working their streets.
We were able to close a couple of houses on Pinney, and such is often the case, the problems from Pinney have moved to Sterling. So it's a way of our showing support for our neighbors on Sterling.
This is a grassroots movement to reclaim their neighborhood, where residents say they're afraid to go out after dark. This is the 5th Harmony in Hintonburg walkabout. Organizers say while they want prostitutes out, it's not a solution if they simply move to another neighborhood.
I think that's the important thing, is that it brings the whole community together. And these walks are really for us to say we're a strong community and we can't tolerate this, and no community should tolerate that.
Meanwhile, seniors who live in city-owned housing report being assaulted and robbed by young tenants. Now those feeling like prisoners in their own homes say it's time the landlord clean up its act. Here's CJOH's Catherine Latham.
I think so, because I live 15th floor corner. Sometimes I think so maybe I jump. I am so scared.
67-year-old Stefania Sedelko lives in fear. After 15 years in this city-owned South Ottawa apartment building, she now spends most nights locked in her apartment. The building used to be seniors only, now it's all ages. Tenants here complain of drugs, thefts, and stabbings.
When you come downstairs and you see blood splattered all over the wall and all over the concrete and that, yeah, it is scary. The police are here all the time.
Seniors make up 1/3 of the city's 50,000 tenants. Now some are demanding the new housing board kick criminals out, making some buildings seniors only. Shirley Mosley says residents deserve better.
I had an 87-year-old lady tending her garden. She was slashed with a belt and a belt buckle. We can't forget Mr. Damiano said he got slugged by 6 thugs. He said it was worse than fighting the Korean War.
The Housing Board's new chair, Maria McRae, says going back to a seniors-only building may not be possible. She says it may be a human rights issue.
Whether it's increased security or police presence, McRae says unlike its predecessor, the new appointed housing board will find a solution to keep seniors safe.
I don't want to give up hope. We're going to do everything we can, and the commitment is there from our community, from our tenants, from City Council, and from this board and our staff.
Tenants groups say they will hold McRae to her word and say they won't back down until seniors feel safe in their home.
And if we don't fight for the seniors today, who the hell's going to fight for us tomorrow?
Catherine Latham, CJOH News.
A 13-year-old boy was killed tonight while riding his bicycle in Embrun, southeast of Ottawa. The OPP say the youth was with a group of friends and rode from a bike path into a darkened intersection where he was struck by a van.
Well, it's the last weekend in October, and traditionally this is the weekend when we will change our clocks. We also have a change in the weather, and I'll have the details coming up in just a few minutes. Leigh.
This weekend is a practice of sorts to show how we can party in advance of Grey Cup week. Tomorrow, you're invited to help pack the park for the final Renegades game. Some of the proceeds will go to the United Way.
On behalf of Scotiabank and TELUS, for $30,000 to the United Way campaign.
Tonight, another big check presentation at the Aberdeen Pavilion. TELUS and Scotiabank teaming up at this benefit for the United Way to present Canadian blues icon Colin James. The night dubbed Rock the Park, Colin James will also perform at halftime during tomorrow's football game. Well, at this time of year, everyone starts thinking about gremlins and goblins, though many say Ottawa has active spirits year-round. Ghosts lurk in local restaurants, homes, and hotels, trying to make their presence known. Tonight, CJOH's Michelle DeBlanco visited one of the city's haunts.
Ottawa's youth hostel was once the city's jail, home to men facing execution. And while their crimes may be forgotten, some say their spirits work hard to be remembered.
Now, encounters in the building ranged from the very mundane to, hearing voices or strange sounds. Other people have actually seen a figure sitting or standing at the end of their bed.
Some believe that ghostly figure is Patrick James Whalen, the man convicted of killing one of the fathers of Confederation, D'Arcy McGee.
Well, Patrick Whalen was the first man executed here, the first of 3, but his was the last public execution.
Experts say Whalen's body wasn't properly buried, so his spirit wanders these halls, though some wonder if people's ghostly encounters are the work of a wandering imagination.
But you could probably make yourself think you heard anything while you're in here, just because you're thinking about it and you're saying, oh, what if that happened?
No matter, these travelers say it would be a crime to miss sleeping with ghosts.
It was fun and a bit scary, but I slept well and I had a good time here.
For the truly fearless, the hostel had a challenge where they let hostel guests stay in Whalen's cell overnight. However, there was one catch. The doors had to be locked.
Unfortunately, it wasn't the fear, but the fire risk that shut the idea down. Still, people here are glad Whalen roams these halls, keeping his memory alive. Mostly so they have a memory they won't forget. Michelle DeBlanco, CJOH News.
And community spirit seems to come alive at Halloween. At the Elfin Apartments in Centertown, Ottawa, young and old came together tonight for a frightfully good time. 15 people competed in a pumpkin carving contest, and the abominable snowman oversaw the creation of the graveyard. This season brings out the children in everybody, it seems, and how ghoul is that? Several numbers are considered ominous around Halloween. Perhaps these ones, though, are lucky for you. For tonight's Super 7 jackpot: 1, 8, 13, 23, 29, 31, and 41. Tonight's bonus, 35. The numbers again: 1, 8, 13, 23, 29, 31, and 41. The bonus, 35. And tonight's encore number, 212-6332. 212-6332.
People talk. They say that luxury is all about the details, the subtleties the average person doesn't even notice. They say luxury can be seen in the way a chrome grille sparkles in the light and the way the tires make contact with the road. People say a lot of things. You should listen to those people.
There's a new superhero in the kitchen. Cascade 2-in-1 Action Packs. The unbeatable cleaning of Cascade with the grease-fighting power of Dawn. One easy step and the 2-in-1 Action Pack bursts into action with 40% more tough food cleaning power than the leading packet for better results. And grease, stains, residue, even stuck-on foods are no match for 2-in-1 Action Packs. Go online for this coupon for Cascade 2-in-1 Action Packs. Dishes never had it so clean.
Oh, I hate packing up.
Come here. I wish we could freeze this moment. What?
Just heard Mrs. Fraser's thinking of selling this place.
Oh.
You know, we've got enough to make an offer.
CIBC Investments can give you the freedom to create your own choices.
I've been a part of the Warrior Champ program because I was born with only one hand. They cover the expenses of my arms and all my different devices.
The services they provide, the financial help, the emotional help, the information, the War Amps has certainly eased the path quite a bit.
They made me confident in myself. You have to believe in yourself and you'll achieve your dreams.
When it comes to the flu, prevention is your best medicine. The flu spreads easily from person to person through coughing and sneezing. Protect yourself and those around you by getting your flu vaccine every year. It's safe and easy. See your doctor or community health center. Check with your local pharmacy or visit one of Ottawa Public Health's free flu shot clinics. For a complete list, visit your local library or ottawa.ca or call the Phil line. Don't let the flu stop you cold. Get your flu shot and stay healthy this winter.
News is brought to you in part by Pinecrest Remembrance Services, Cole family owned since 1924.
Well, up to this point, we've enjoyed a pretty dry and fairly pleasant week. However, it looks like it's going to be a little soggy overnight tonight through a portion of the day on Saturday and not so much on Sunday. We have an area of low pressure which is back to the west of the Great Lakes and a little warm front that extends now just to the south of the Ottawa Valley. So Peterborough is going to remain fairly mild overnight tonight. And most of us will participate in the drizzle and the fog overnight tonight. First thing tomorrow morning, you'll wake up, you see a little bit of fog here and there. And then, of course, as the day goes along, that'll turn into some showers, maybe a risk of a thunderstorm as this cold front goes through. Sun rising at 7:40, setting at 5:53. Now, of course, we'll be adjusting our clocks. We fall back. That will happen Sunday, 2 a.m. officially. Do it before you go to bed on Saturday night, and you'll be in step with the rest of the world on Halloween. 3 degrees at Maniwaki overnight tonight. 4 is down the Ottawa River. The St. Lawrence 5. 8's close to the lake. And Peterborough, normally fairly cool, will be warm because of that warm front extending out toward the southeast. And that'll continue to push across the Ottawa Valley through the day on Saturday. So overnight tonight, fog and drizzle. Low temperature gets down to 4 degrees here. When you wake up tomorrow morning, anticipate a drizzly start to the day. Beautiful artwork tonight. Lovely pumpkin there. Owen Moore at Venta Preparatory School in grade 3 is tonight's Wake Up Weather Watcher artist with our thanks. Here's the Surgeon Pontiac Buick GMC Hummer 5-day forecast. Saturday, drizzle in the morning and then showers and maybe a thunderstorm through the day. 15, it should end by the evening. The outlook for All Hallows Eve itself is cloudy. 30% chance of showers. With any luck, that'll be early in the day. And hopefully it'll be dry for the trick-or-treaters after sundown on Sunday. Monday, we have sunshine for you, and the high gets up to 10 degrees. Well, baseball season is over. NHL's on strike. Still, he scours the world and finds lots to talk about in sports. Here's Corey Ginther.
Well, thank you for that, Jay. Good evening, everyone. Well, after months of pain and suffering, the Renegades will be put to rest for the season as they close out their 3rd CFL campaign against the playoff-bound Tiger Cats tomorrow. Coaches, GM, and players are all under the microscope after a year of regression.
I'm sure there's mixed emotions, good and bad. But the key thing is try to focus, hey, you know what, you signed up for 18 games if you started the season here. And you're still getting paid, and that's part of that professionalism.
A win tomorrow will give the Gades 6 wins, 1 short of last season's total. Stamps and Bombers also played their last games of the regular season. It was Winnipeg beating Calgary 37-16 in a meaningless matchup as both teams are not going to the playoffs. University of Ottawa Gee-Gees begin their quest for the Vanier Cup on Sunday when they kick off the postseason against Guelph. Gee-Gees were pummeled by McMaster to close out the regular season, but now it's a fresh start for the Grey and Garnet.
We have a lot of things going on in this game and how important it is to us, you know. And it's not just, you know, we don't have nobody on our side right now. We're the underdogs. So we don't really got anything to lose, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
We've been on the rebuilding stage for the past 3 years, and this seems to be the good year. We got some good quarterbacks. We have a good team in general. We're making some plays, and we're pulling off some wins. So we're very confident that we're going to be doing well for the playoffs.
Yeah, the Gee-Gees finished the regular season at 5-3. Guelph was 4-4. University women's soccer playoffs. The Gee-Gees and Ravens both winners tonight and have earned spots in the quarterfinals. The NHL Players Association is getting set to talk strategy next week in Toronto and maybe do some damage control. Cracks continue to show with the players in the lower ranks, as Senators defenseman Brian Pothier suggests. The league's fringe players are suffering the most while the two sides refuse to negotiate.
I'm in Binghamton this year because I need to feed my family and pay the bills. And the guys who are making the decisions don't have to do that. They can take 3, 4, 5 the rest of their lives off if they want. You know, so it's a little different and it's a sticky situation, but trying to make the best of it, you know.
Meanwhile, Montreal Canadiens forward Pierre Dagenet says if it takes a salary cap to get the NHL back on its feet, so be it.
I want to play. I love the game, and that's why I said that yesterday. And like I say, if I'm thinking about myself, I'm going to sign the cap.
And player reps from each NHL team will gather in the T-Dot on Tuesday to respond to the grumblings of some members who are angry that the two sides aren't even talking right now. The Ottawa 67s are hoping their wild Halloween weekend isn't cursed after blowing three-goal leads and eventually losing in overtime last night in Windsor. 67s continue their stretch of 4 games in 4 days with a stop in Plymouth. The end result turned out to be another loss as they dropped a heartbreaking 2-1 decision. Elsewhere tonight, Mississauga beat Belleville by a final score of 1-0. High-scoring affair in Kingston as the Frontenacs clobbered the Generals 9-3. In the queue, the Olympique opened up their 6-game road trip with a 2-0 setback in Moncton. And Central Junior League winners tonight included Pembroke, Gloucester, and Brockville. Sticking on the ice for some action from Skate Canada and Halifax, this is 16-year-old Canadian champion Cynthia Phaneuf, who is phenomenal, nailing an opening triple Lutz right here. She missed it twice in practice, and she's in first place after the women's short program. Fellow Canadian champions Valerie Marcoux of Gatineau and her partner Craig Bunton entered the pairs program in 3rd spot, but this was not a skate to remember. And then when it came to the axle lasso lift, something we all have difficulty with, Bunton couldn't get her off the ice and said that moment made him feel like less of a man. They went from medal contenders to a 5th place performance. Annabella Langlois and Patrice Arquetto finished 4th. 2 Chinese couples won gold and silver, while a Polish pair captured bronze.
Based on the hip hold of one of the greatest teams in the history of sport, let's unfurl the banner.
The governor of Massachusetts declared this Boston Red Sox week as if there was any question after 86 years of waiting for a World Series title.
I know the waiting was worth it, but I think we got to do this again next year.
Sounds like a plan. Upwards of 5 million people are expected at tomorrow's victory parade in downtown Beantown. Well, Vince Carter has been jumping from one court to another in preparation for the start of next week's NBA regular season. Air Canada has missed the last 2 preseason games to attend a trial in South Carolina. He's in a legal battle with his former agent over a lost shoe endorsement. And no, he didn't lose his shoes. Toronto home to Cleveland tonight. The Raptors mascot has had too much sugar. Cut that man off. Vince Carter back in a more familiar court. He takes the feed here, had 20 points in the Raptors' final preseason game. Toronto finishes on a positive note, beating the Cavaliers 192 tonight. They open up the regular season Wednesday against Houston at the ACC. The NHL lockout has given us the chance to show you some other extremely popular sporting events, like the toughest sport on dirt, nonetheless. It's the Professional Bull Riding World Finals in Las Vegas. 3 Canadians are competing, including Ruben Galanese of Winchester, located about a half-hour south of the capital. Riding Love Shack, Galenzi is at 20th out of 45 of the world's best after tonight's 5th go-round, and you can watch the rest of this weekend's PBR World Finals on the Outdoor Life Network. Love the rodeo. All right, from bulls in the desert to gators in the swamps of Florida, it's Chrysler Classic Round 2 in FLA. Jonathan Bird atop the leaderboard, but he gets some company as Jeff Sluman nails the beautiful Bird. Bird and Sluman are tied for the lead at 10 under. Stephen Ames is 9 shots back, while Mike Weir missed the cut with 2 disastrous rounds of golf. And that is our look at sports.
It's not always a good day on the lakes.
No, it's not.
Thanks, Corey. In just a moment, gallery talk on a judicial surprise. First, CJOH Worst Eyesore Contest has narrowed down the suggestions to 20 of the worst. Many of you mentioned Barrymore's Music Hall. Even the property manager agrees it could use a facelift. The U.S. Embassy also took a beating. Its image damaged by the barricades out front. A few abandoned houses tarnish our image, you say, like this one on Lyle Street. The entire list of 20 will be published in tomorrow's Ottawa Citizen, and you can go to our website at cjoh.com and follow the links to vote.
There's nothing new about wanting softer, smoother skin. What's new is how you do it. Introducing Olay Moisture Rinse. A whole new kind of body lotion that works with the warmth and humidity of your shower and deep conditioned skin. After cleansing, smooth on, rinse off, like a conditioner for a revolutionary look and feel. This is not your grandmother's body lotion. New Olay Moisture Rinse In-Shower Body Lotion. Love the skin you're in.
The sounds of living. The sounds of business. Lanark County and North Leeds, the ideal location for your business.
Top 3 reasons would be the skilled workforce, the costs in this area, and the quality of life that provides to all of us that are working here. We ship product all through North and South America. The quality of the workforce here is second to none.
Why not locate your business in an area that has a natural advantage for business? Lanark County and North Leeds, we're right next door.
You're a toddler now, and you've got work to do. The cleaning, the shopping, and hey, the grass isn't gonna cut itself. So really, who's got time to lay down on the job? Well, Pampers has toddler transitions for each stage of your development. One pant you step in for an easy change, another you can pull on by yourself, and a new one that'll let you feel wet to help you learn to stay dry. After all, you've got mouths to feed. Toddler transitions from Pampers.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Centennial Glass Depot. More than ever, a real gem of a business.
Gallery Talk with Norman Fetterly.
Oh, Danny boy from Parliament Hill tonight, Mike Duffy and Jane Taper of the Globe and Mail. Oh, Danny boy, Danny Williams in this case. Mike, we don't have the NHL, but we have that other Canadian pastime.
All-star wrestling.
Federal government versus the provinces, and Danny Williams proved himself a master player, I think, this week.
Well, it's again like all-star wrestling. You know, they have all these the fake punches and so on and so forth, and synthetic indignation. Danny Williams, at home in Newfoundland, they call him Danny Millions. He was in cable television and sold his empire for about $250 million. So what we saw here, I think, this week was Danny Williams, the businessman negotiator, trying to squeeze some more money out of Paul Martin. No deal yet, and the Martin folks are not happy campers.
No.
But Jane, in the end, I think there was some feeling today that it might be okay because there were some apologies going around, various other adjustments being made.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, the adjustments would be they've been trying to make adjustments all week after Mr. Williams' very dramatic departure. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that, I think, sort of since the Mulrooney years with Meech Lake negotiations and things like that. But so far, there hasn't been. It seems to me they're still at an impasse. And it's interesting that John Effort, the Natural Resources Minister, is also the senior minister for Newfoundland. He was back last night, and he's in the province today. So he was in the province today, and he was being crucified, Norm, by the provincial Tories there. It's a tough time,
even
I think, for Paul Martin.
Even the provincial, yeah,
as being a sellout and reneging on a promise and all this kind of stuff. So Martin's got a tough time there.
Okay, well, let's move on to something else that happened this week. Bit of a surprise, Jane, yesterday when the Justice Minister did not order a new trial for Stephen Truscott. Has there been much reaction to that at all?
Well, not a whole bunch of reaction, but just initially yesterday, yeah, there was surprise that that he didn't do what the Truscotts had hoped and what everybody had assumed he would do. Instead, he took, I don't know, what would you call it, a less courageous route, or I don't know, you know, by taking it to the Ontario Court of Appeal.
This has been going on for so long, Mike.
Yeah, it has, and had he gone for one option, I mean, that would have been the end of it, almost certainly for Stephen Truscott. But Norman, underlying all of this, there's a concern among some people in the Federal Justice Department that these cases, whether it's Stephen Truscott or Fillion or Donald Marshall and so on, have become media events. And they want, if there has been a miscarriage of justice, they want that stamp of approval or that action being taken by judges, not by the media and prosecutors. And so there's a thing here about the integrity of the justice system that I think also underscored some of what Mr. Kotler's thinking was yesterday.
Jane, time to visit again with that struggling new author, Sheila Kopp. I don't know how the book is doing, but she didn't get much support this week for that central contention of hers that Martin wanted to cripple Medicare, and she saved it.
Well, no, try as she did, because she was going full steam this week trying to back up her claims. But no, nobody came out to support her. None of the Chrétien-era ministers or anybody from that time who would know have supported her claims. And it is a shame. I've been a fan of Sheila Kopp's, and I think that she has ruined her credibility or tarnished her credibility by these accusations, because she wasn't able to back it up, Norm. If only she could have backed it up.
Well, it's still good fun, though, Mike, as a book, right?
Yeah, but I think Jane's point is an important one, that if you're going to make this kind of charge, you really should assemble your facts and
later she was banding about double vision, Edward Greenspan's book, with Tony Wilson Smith, to prove her point. Well, she should have done that on day one and said, and perhaps even quoted from their book in her book to say, see, and here they found this out, and here's my take on it.
Well,
but instead, it was sloppily done all the way around, and the loser is Ms. Copps, unfortunately.
We'll come back to that in a few weeks, Mike, when we do the Christmas book show here. This is the earliest plug yet for it. Let me I remember just before the election in June, you two were on, last program before the election, and you predicted the outcome perfectly. So it's a different country, different system, whatever. Mike, let's hear what you have to say on the Americans on Tuesday. Bush or Kerry?
George Bush will be reelected, and Norm, it's on the basis of my scientific research in northern New York. Heather and I often go down on the weekend to Sackett's Harbor and the Watertown area, and we know people down there. And I mean, just crossing the St. Lawrence River, the mindset is dramatically different. On the Brockville side, nobody's concerned about terrorism. You go across the bridge and into the U.S., and it's a major concern. So I think their mindset is they want somebody tough, the sheriff in town, and I think that's why Bush will get reelected.
Jane?
Well, I'm not being as philosophical as Mike on this. I think it is going to be George Bush, and the reason why is it's so close, but I always think that when these things are very close, that the incumbent always has the edge. It's safer to go sort of with the person you know than to try something totally new. So I think that Bush just might edge by Kerry.
No need to watch on Tuesday. We now know the results.
No, please watch.
My thanks to you both.
Take care.
Thanks a lot.
That's Gallery Talk for this week. I'm Norman Federley.
If you think of cold, if you think congestion and sinus pain, will stop me, you don't know Advil.
For fast relief, it's tough on colds like Advil is on pain. There's Advil Cold and Sinus, or new Advil Cold and Sinus Plus.
Hand me a 1, a 0, and another 0. Okay, we're done here.
This is so exciting.
The new Encore is now 4 times more attractive with $1 million top prize. And you can still win down to the very last number. Say yes to $1 million. Say yes to the new Encore.
So I went to the bank with my kicking horse, and I asked them if they wanted to invest in it. They tried it, and they loved the jolt it gave them. They said it was very powerful, which was cool because the kicking horse coffee blend I'd given them was called 454 horsepower.
BDC, banking on Canadian entrepreneurs.
Joe's life was complicated. He didn't know what to do until fate intervened. Mr. Clean takes on 3 different cleaning roles in The Magic Spray, featuring an amazing new antibacterial spray that cuts tough grease, kills germs, and cleans glass to a streak-free shine. New Mr. Clean antibacterial multi-surface spray does it all.
A group demanding a public inquiry into the police investigation of an alleged child sex ring in Cornwall protested today. They accused the Premier of backtracking on a pre-election promise to do just that. CJOH's Charlie Greenwell reports.
The protesters made their point outside the Cornwall office of the Liberal member of the provincial legislature, Jim Brownell, while inside, sex abuse victims and relatives pounded away at the MPP, unsure that he was actually getting the message.
The people of Cornwall want an inquiry, and it's time. It's time for action now.
Alain Segar is with the Coalition for Action Cornwall. He demanded that the MPP remind the Premier of a pre-election promise to hold an immediate full inquiry, and wondered what might have caused the Premier to have changed his mind.
He has indicated to me until all the cases before the courts and the appeals, until those situations are completed, he will not call for, or he will not call for an inquiry.
The crowd outside said that was a cop-out, and that after the appeals have been exhausted, there will be more excuses, even more delays. The Reverend Kate Gregory is minister of Cornwall's United Church.
There certainly are particular victims in this case, but the entire town, the entire region has been demoralized by this and victimized.
Somebody has to ask the question. This government and previous governments have not come forward with an inquiry. So who's being protected? Who absolutely doesn't want an inquiry to happen?
MPP Jim Brownell says he may have some positive news for the group in about 2 weeks. If not, the people here say they'll be back.
Do we get in touch with the Attorney General ourselves?
Charlie Greenwell, CJOH News, Cornwall.
The local stock report is brought to you by Sterling Ford, home of the 2005 Ford Focus.
European regulators